Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland BROWNS. Let's get to the news. Now folks, I have to tell you, what I'm about to share with you is nothing short of a game changer. Imagine a scenario where one of the NFL's most iconic tight ends, Travis Kelce, the guy who has been the cornerstone of the Kansas City Chiefs offense for years, ends up in Cleveland. Yes, you heard right. The Browns could be on the verge of making a blockbuster move that might reshape the entire division. We're talking about Kelce, a player who's been Patrick Mahomes' favorite target, a player whose impact on the game has been nothing short of legendary, possibly donning the orange and brown. Now, I know what you're thinking, how could that even happen? Well, let's dive into the details and look at what this potential trade could mean for the Browns, the Chiefs, and the entire NFL landscape. First, it's important to understand the context. Travis Kelce, at the moment, is 35 years old, and the NFL is a league that's always evolving, always looking towards the future. The Chiefs, despite their recent successes, are starting to face some tough questions about their roster. Patrick Mahomes is still at the top of his game, but the supporting cast has seen some changes, and the team's management is undoubtedly considering how to keep competing at the highest level for years to come. Kelce, as much as he's been a franchise player for Kansas City, is getting older, and the signs of regression are beginning to show. His production, while still impressive, isn't quite what it was in his prime, and with that, the Chiefs might be contemplating a future without him. In fact, there's a very real possibility that the Chiefs could decide to part ways with Kelce sooner rather than later, especially if they sense he's contemplating retirement. Let's be honest, Kelce is a player who's always been vocal about his love for the game and his city, but at 35, approaching 36, he's also a player who might be looking to close out his career on his own terms. And what better way to do that than to return to his hometown team, the Cleveland Browns? This is where things get really interesting. The Browns, on the other hand, are in a bit of a transitional phase at tight end. They currently have David Njoku, a talented player who's shown flashes of brilliance, but who's also set to be a free agent soon. Harold Fannin Jr., their promising rookie, is still developing and might not be ready to be a full-time starter just yet. This opens up a window for the Browns to make a move. Trading Njoku to the Chiefs could be a strategic decision, especially if they're looking to bring in a veteran presence like Kelce to mentor their young players and provide leadership. Moreover, Kelce's arrival would immediately elevate their offense, not just because of his skills as a receiver, but because of the leadership and experience he would bring to a team that's been trying to find its identity post-Baker Mayfield and in the wake of other roster adjustments. Now, let's talk about the potential fit. The Browns' offense could greatly benefit from Kelce's ability to create mismatches, his route running, and his sure hands. Remember, he's not just a pass catcher. He's a football IQ machine, constantly making the right reads and helping quarterbacks move the chains. Having Kelce in Cleveland, even if it's just for a season or two, could be the difference maker in close games, especially in the playoffs. And for Kelce himself, returning to Cleveland would be a storybook ending to his career. Growing up just down the street from the city, Kelce has always expressed a desire to play for the Browns, even if that opportunity never materialized in the draft. In a recent interview with GQ, Kelce revealed that he told Browns, then head coach Rob Chudzinski back in 2013, "I will King die for the city. I literally was in tears. I said, I'm sorry I'm getting emotional. I grew up down the street. I would King do anything to play for the Cleveland Browns." That kind of passion, that hometown pride, makes this scenario even more compelling. Thinking about what this move could mean for the Browns' offense, it's clear that Kelce would bring not only his on-field skills, but also a leadership presence that's sorely needed. The Browns have been on an upward trajectory, with their defense playing at a high level and their offensive line providing solid protection. Adding a veteran like Kelce would give their passing game a new dimension, especially with him lining up at tight end, creating opportunities for quarterback Deshaun Watson. It's a move that would send shockwaves through the AFC North, a division that's already stacked with talent, but could see a shift in power dynamics if Cleveland pulls this off. Of course, there are questions and obstacles. The Chiefs, for one, would have to be convinced to part ways with Kelce. They might be hesitant, especially if Kelce is still performing at a high level, and they could demand a hefty price or some draft capital in return. Also, the Browns would need to work out salary cap implications and ensure that bringing in a veteran like Kelce fits their long-term plan. But given the potential benefits, both short-term and long-term, it's a move that could make a lot of sense. Looking at the bigger picture, this hypothetical trade also signals a changing NFL landscape. Teams are more willing than ever to make bold moves, to bring in veterans who can instantly impact the team's fortunes. The Browns, in particular, have been making strategic decisions to build a contender, and snagging Kelce would be a statement that they're serious about winning now and in the future. Plus, it would be a massive boost for their fan base, giving them a hometown hero with a Hall of Fame resume, a guy who's already etched his name in NFL history. Now, I want to emphasize again, this is all speculative, but it's rooted in the current state of the NFL and the players' situations. Kelce's future in Kansas City isn't set in stone, especially with his age and the team's roster considerations. The Browns, on their part, are always looking for ways to get better, and a player like Kelce would be a perfect fit for their aspirations of competing at the highest level. The NFL is unpredictable, and that's what keeps us all hooked. Just imagine the headlines, the highlight reels, the excitement if this trade actually happens. It would be one of the most talked about moves of the season, no doubt. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And you, Browns fans, what do you think about this possible scenario? Would you love to see Kelce in Cleveland for just one season? How do you think he would fit into Kevin Stefanski's offense? Could he be the missing piece to finally push Cleveland over the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion matters so much to us and to the Browns. I know many of you have been dreaming of a move like this, and it's exciting to imagine how it could reshape the division, the conference, and maybe even the team's future. We're living in a time where bold decisions are happening every day, and this could very well be one of those moments. So stay tuned, because I'll be back soon with more updates, insights, and analysis on everything Cleveland Browns. Remember, this team has a rich history, passionate fans, and a relentless drive to succeed. Whether this trade happens or not, one thing is certain. The Browns are always in the conversation, always fighting for their place in the NFL's elite. Thanks for sticking with me through this deep dive, and as always, keep the faith, Browns fans. We're on this journey together, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for our team. Until next time, stay safe, stay passionate, and let's keep dreaming big because the best is yet to come for the Cleveland Browns.